Shabbat Shalom. All right. We're going to jump ahead to page 31. And this is an energetic song, so if you feel so moved to get up and dance, please, by all means, do not let me stop you. In fact, let me encourage you. All right?
Give indeed. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to all of you who have joined us on this most wonderful Friday night Shabbat services. It's good to have you here in this space. It's good to have you joining us wherever you are connected from, home or wherever you are. You're with us right now. And welcome. So our first job is to step into this moment. I feel with this song, this song is sung in Aramaic. So we know that the words Yaribon of the song we just danced on together are at minimum 2,000 years old. At minimum. Could be closer to 2,300 years old because that's the language that we spoke, the Jewish people, at that time. That was kind of the lingua franca. We worshipped in Hebrew, we spoke Aramaic. And they're very close languages. But I'm really moved by I was watching our volunteers, set up the space, the banners with words of the Torah in them. This is a blessing that blesses everyone in the acknowledgement of the radiance of this moment. Shehechianu. And then the ark, and inside the ark, the two of our Torah scrolls, and the light, the eternal light above. Our incredible, gorgeous cloth that drapes our candle table that wishes us Shabbat Shalom in Hebrew. And suddenly, as I was watching all of this come to be, just pop out of the goodness of the heart of our volunteers, I felt deeply connected to our lineage. I think I mentioned that during Passover, but it's really been staying with me. How lucky we really are. There are so many people living in this world that don't know where they come from, don't have roots they can speak of, can't talk about what happened for them 2,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago. And not only can we speak of all of this, but we have artifacts that continue to cause us to remember. In this ark, I will open it toward the end of the service, are two Torah scrolls. One is 300 years old from Czechoslovakia. It's one of those scrolls that were saved from being burned down and destroyed by the Nazis as they swept through Europe and burned synagogue after synagogue. In the Czech Republic, a group of 20 Jews decided to go throughout the land and gather as many scrolls, as many artifacts from those Jewish synagogues as they could before the invasion, before the Nazis just leveled everything off and burned everything down. They hid this scroll and a few dozens more in the basement of the great synagogue of Prague that was spared by the war because Prague is such a beautiful city that neither side just wanted to carpet bomb it. And so that synagogue remained standing. And here we have that Torah scroll right here, behind those doors here in Seattle, to remind us of generations of Jews who have opened the scroll and read from its words, from her words. And these words in Aramaic we just sang, we can't take them for granted. They are thousands of years old. They have been sung by generations of us, anywhere and everywhere we've been. We are so blessed. So blessed. And tonight, on this night, all over the world, Jews are coming together in synagogues to share the same blessings we're going to share, some of the same songs we're going to sing. And we've done that for thousands of years, every Friday. I just want to connect us to those deep roots. There is no spiritual lineage that doesn't honor those who have come before, the great sages, the great rabbis in our case, but the great sages of any tradition. So I think that's how I want to invite us into this Shabbat tonight. To take a couple of mindful breaths. And know that we are surrounded by the energies of a spiritual journey that has gone for thousands of years. And we are welcome here. Whatever your background, whatever your spiritual journey has been, you are home with us tonight. From that place, from that heart-opening space, we step into Shabbat one other step as we open our heart the way we open to gratitude. And we open to gratitude, we open to the abundance of our life, of who we are, by sharing of that abundance. So every Friday, as Shabbat begins, every Jewish family, every child, I remember growing up, is invited to find there's a tzedakah box in the house. There's definitely a tzedakah box at the synagogue. To come and drop in, I remember we had to empty our pockets from any little coin, any bill that might have stayed from the week, and everybody just dropped whatever was there in the tzedakah box, in the box that is collecting money to support those in need in the community. And so we continue this ritual that we've done for thousands of years, and we invite you to participate in that as well tonight. So we have a tzedakah box, a box in the back of the sanctuary, that if you have a few coins, a few bills, you're welcome to deposit them there. If you don't have coins or bills, we have a Venmo tzedakah box, because, we have to go with the times as well. So if you make donations through Venmo, you'll find the little thing for your phone there, and it'll get you to the Bet Aleph website to make a donation. If you're watching online, if you're participating from home, you can find the donate button either on the app or on the front page, on the homepage of our website. And we share your tzedakah this month, as every month. We never keep everything for ourselves. It's not about us. It's not about Bet Aleph. We actually share and donate to those in need in our community. And this month, the board of directors has voted to support the Holocaust Center for Humanity here in Seattle. The Holocaust Center teaches the history of the Holocaust so that the local survivors, there are survivors here in Seattle. I've met several of them working with the Holocaust Center. The local survivors, their families, and millions of other victims are never forgotten. They work in the school systems here in the greater Seattle area. They set up events, community programs, and they fight hate by educating students, teachers, and the public about the dangers of intolerance and the difference each one of us can make to combat said intolerance. So I hope you take the time to find our tzedakah box, our Venmo icon there, or the donate button on our digital tools. We are going to turn to page 27 as we do that. We also invite those who are lighting our candles here tonight to come forward as we sing Nasim Shalom.
Nasim Shalom Tova Uveracha Chen v'chesed v'rachamim join hands with the world, and our passion for justice increase. Nasim shalom tova uveracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim. Nasim shalom tova uveracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim. Let the light of your Torah be the light of our lives. Grant us goodness, grant us blessings and love. May our yearning for peace be a blessing for the world, as the olive branch soars with the dove. Nasim shalom tova uveracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim. Nasim shalom tova uveracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim. Chen v'chesed v'rachamim. Chen v'chesed v'rachamim.
I need the mic. Every Shabbat, we invite members of our community to come forward and kindle our community's Shabbat candles here in the space. And as they do so, we invite them to share what it is they're lighting their candles for, what they are honoring, blessing, celebrating. Shelley's going to start tonight. She's not on my list, neither are you, so we'll pass the mic.
I am lighting for a number of things. First of all, in memory of my beloved aunt, Marilyn Coleman, who we're just finishing Shloshim. She passed at 91 and a half and on her terms, which was a blessing. Also in memory of Melissa Fagan, today would be her 36th birthday. And she is dearly missed. I'm also lighting in gratitude for the surgeons who performed successful brain surgery on my cousin a month ago. And last but definitely not least, I am lighting in celebration of our rabbi's birthday tomorrow.
You want to do that? Or yeah, you can do that. Since we have the mic anyways, might as well.
I'm grateful to be lighting my first Shabbat candle as a new member of this wonderful community. And to have this place to connect in such a beautiful way with my Jewish roots. So grateful. Thank you.
And I'm Carol Grant, and I'm lighting in honor of my mother-in-law, who passed away, I don't remember how many years ago, but I'm 67, and she passed away at 63, so a while ago.
20th yard site.
Okay, thank you, 20th yard site.
And I'm Linda Moldauer. I'm lighting in memory of Aunt Ruthie, who passed away a week ago. She lives in Philadelphia, and I flew in a day before she passed, And I was very grateful that I was able to say goodbye yet one more time. A little anecdote about Aunt Ruthie. She used to stand at her doorway to her bedroom with her hand up on the mezuzah and running through a list of people longer than your list, times 4, of remembering them and wishing them well.
We're going to wait for Paula to join us for just a second here, because Paula was lighting candles tonight as well. Paulina, come on, just join us up here. As you are, it's okay. Paulina is taking a deep breath and lighting pretend candles in our heart for her mother, Mickey Liebes. Paulina writes that she has come to understand her mother's deep frustration within her marriage to her dad. Mickey was a powerful woman, and Paulina just finished a grief recovery workshop that allowed her to complete their relationship now, in the year of her mom's 21st yahrzeit. She tells her mom that she forgives her for perceived past failings. She loves her. Actually, she says she loves you, Mom. Amen. Beautiful healing. And Rabbi Olivier lit a candle for his 23rd birthday. Ish. Give or take 30 years. At home, you are also lighting your Shabbat candles. Elizabeth Heath is lighting her Shabbat candles for the 8th yahrzeit of a beloved former teacher, Jigdal Dakchen Sakia. Pete Bernard is lighting his Shabbat candles in memory of his mother, Sylvia Bernard, on her 29th yahrzeit. Claire Petersky is lighting her Shabbat candles tonight in memory of her grandfather, Ludwig Fabel, on his 25th yahrzeit. Barry Ryan Thuneman is lighting her Shabbat candles at home tonight for her grandfather, Louis Ryan, on his 40th yahrzeit. The blessing for the light of Shabbat is on page 1 in your prayer book. And we cover our eyes traditionally to remind ourselves that that which we are blessing is the love, the memory, the care, the compassion that is awakening within our heart. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של שבת. Amen. Thank you all. On page 31, we continue with another upbeat song. So you don't need to sit down, you stay standing the whole evening. Yismechu Hashamayim at the bottom of page 31. Ha, ha, ho!
ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ותגל הארץ. ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו Tagel Haaretz. Yiram Hayam, Yiram Hayam, Yiram Hayam Umelo. 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 Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Tagel haaretz. Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Tagel haaretz.
I understand. We want more. We want more. Of course. Of course. I love those because those are all like Jewish camp songs. So if you ever were to at summer Jewish camp, you know all the songs by heart. All right, since everybody is still standing, let's turn to page, where are we? Here, page 5. And we'll join together for the call to blessing. We bless this moment in our lives, in our hearts. We bless this moment that we are here together in community. We bless together this moment that we are here as a people who have traversed so much and yet is still dancing every Friday night. Join me. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Bless the Eternal, the one who is blessing. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Va'ed. Blessed is the Eternal, the one who is blessing eternally. At the top of page 6, we meet the 6 words of the Shema, the words that are inscribed on all of our Torah scrolls. Words that call us to remember the oneness of being, the oneness that we are. Join me. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Listen, Israel. The Eternal manifests as all that is. The Eternal is one. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Blessed is the name, The splendor of its presence shines eternally.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
You may be seated. We continue with the Ve'ahavta at the bottom of the page. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים
Ani Adonai Elohechem.
You know what is very special about this whole page? Page 6. It's the best page. I don't know if you ever read any book, but page 6, always the best page. Check it out. I'm not making it up. Check it out. Okay, maybe I am making it up. You know, all that we chanted right now together, we chanted with a melody that is assigned to chanting from the scroll, the Torah scroll, directly. And all the words, we chanted them in the way we did with a Torah melody, because all that we chanted is actually part of the Torah as well. The Shema is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, verse 5. The Ve'ahavta, we just chanted, the first paragraph, follows the Shema in the book of Deuteronomy, and the little 2 lines at the bottom of the page are from Leviticus. And so we bring them together because they have a message for us. The message is first, Shema, listen, pay attention. Know that all that is present right now, all that you see, isn't outside of you, it is part of you. It is the reflection of the one that is everything, that is reflected in everything. And as you realize that, then the Ve'ahavta comes in to say, well, once you know that, the only possibility for living is to love. Is simply to love. There is no other way to live. If you understand Shema, then, and you awaken to the truth of the Shema, to awaken awareness, then the only thing that follows from that is love. You become an absolute conduit for love. And you love everything in all its manifestations. And you love it, as it says here, with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your energy. There is not an ounce of you that is not involved in being love. And then at the bottom he says, remain aware and keep my spiritual practices. Because that's what happens, right? We open to this immense love within us, and then on Monday morning we go back to work, and what happened to it? And so we are beings who need practices. Practices that are simply there to remind us of the love, to remind us of the true nature of who we are. We are divine embodied. We are, each of us. The loved and the unloved yet, or the not yet loved parts of us. Okay. Now we rise again. And we turn to page, what is it? 8, the best page. We rise for the Amidah. And we say together at the top of the page, by the way, before we start, if Hebrew isn't familiar to you, if it's difficult even with the transliteration, just go with the English. And if that doesn't do it for you, go with your own heart. Whatever prayer, whatever yearning to connect with a deeper source is there for you, these are the words that are welcome in this space right now. So you have all the options for yourself, and use them. All right, now, if you want, join me. Adonai Satai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Eternal One, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise.
Adonai Sevatai Tiftach Ufi Yagid Tehillah Tehilatecha.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Leah ואלוהי רחל, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה, רב להושיע, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בגבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. Please be seated. We've been camping at the foot of Mount Sinai for quite a while. And we're going to remain there for quite a while longer. It's always astonishing every year when I go through the Torah, how much time we spend at Sinai and how quickly the last 38 years of our journey to the Promised Land actually are narrated, because they really happen in the final chapters of the book of Numbers, because then the book of Deuteronomy is a recap of Exodus, Leviticus, and Numbers. So everything really happens in the last few chapters of Numbers. But the rest of the Torah is really, we stood at Sinai for what seems to be an eternity. right now, as we are standing at Sinai or camping at Sinai, what is happening through the book of Leviticus is that we are enshrining the clergy, the leadership, the liturgical and religious leadership of our nation. We are giving Aaron and his sons, the Levites and the Cohens, all the tools they need. We're dressing them up. There are special garments that the priest has to wear, and we are learning about all the rules and all the laws of what it means to create a sacred community and what it means to serve a sacred community. How do you create a brand new spiritual and religious context for a people who just left 400 years of slavery, a people who had lost its spiritual side? So that's what Leviticus is really busy with. And as part of this teachings about how do you create a religious practice for a newly founded people are the institution of animal sacrifice. Animal sacrifice, however barbaric we seem to believe it to be 3,000 years, 4,000 years later, for the time it was immense progress because it was an evolution. It was an evolution of consciousness. It was an evolution that stepped out of human sacrifice and projected that or transmuted that to animal sacrifice. But animal sacrifice in itself, beyond the seemingly barbaric sacrificing of actual animals, has deep significance. The people were to present to the priest in the temple the best of their flock, the best of what they are. And they did that for multiple reasons, some of which were for atonement, right? When they felt they had missed the mark, when they felt that they had forgotten their spiritual center, that they had strayed from the practices that were enjoined to them, then there was a way for them to be forgiven. There was a way for them to be brought back into the community. And the way to do that was to offer some of the best of what you own to atone. There were sacrifices that were made to make oneself whole. Right, when we felt that either our family was divided or ourselves felt divided within ourselves, we felt conflicted, we felt that we kind of were falling apart. Well, there was a way, a journey, a practice through this sacrifice to make yourself whole again. Right? It was a real ceremony to invite one to really kind of feel again at home within oneself. And there were sacrifices to invite the recognition of the divine presence in one's life, in one's heart, in one's soul. So the sentiment underneath the ritual was actually very profound. And at the time where people really believed that that sacrifices worked, there was really what was beautiful about that they were given a way to heal. They were given a way to atone, to forgive and be forgiven. That's incredible. That's incredible. There was a specific passage that I wrote down here that called me this week. It says, "The God commands the Israelites to bring their animals at the entrance of the tent of meeting, in the midst of the entire people traveling through the wilderness, or in this case, standing at Sinai or camping at Sinai. There was a special tent at the center of the community. There was the tent of meeting. It was known to, it's not like we had meetings there, so I'll meet you at 3 o'clock in the tent. That's not what it was for. It was the tent of meeting the divine, right? There is this notion that the presence was right at the center of the community, and you could go somewhere to be bathed in that energy, to be bathed in that presence. And at the entrance of the tent of meeting, you could, and I quote, offer your sacrifices. Oh, no, then there was an admonition. Sorry, I'm misreading this. There was an admonition as you were offering your personal heart offering. The admonition was that the Israelites should offer the sacrifices no more to the goat demons after whom they stray. Right? Offer your sacrifices no more to the goat demons after whom they stray. There's been a lot of talk about goats this week. I don't know if you're following the news. There was this thing that happened in politics this week. The governor of South Dakota, I was going to say, what's her name? Who published a book. Noam. Christy Noam. Yeah, it was all over everything. Yeah, but it was just like the day after Passover, the day after we sang Chad Gadya, right? And suddenly this woman is in. So Chad Gadya is the song where, it's a children's song, but it's kind of it's the song you sing after 4 cups of wine at the end of Passover, right? So you know what kind of a song it is, right? But it's a song where you say, there was a little goat, and then the cat ate the goat, and the dog bit the cat, and you go through a whole list of different things that happened to the little goat. And this woman was talking in her book was talking about how she actually shot her dog and her goat, and I was like, what happened? This is Passover all over again. Anyway, so here comes the goat demons. Do not offer your sacrifices anymore to the goat demons after whom you stray. And it's actually really powerful language to use the word stray here. It's like you've gone astray, that you've left, you lost it. You've left the presence of the one. And I think the injunction here, or the admonition here, relates to the word, specifically the word sacrifice. Because like I was starting to tell you, but that practice of sacrifices was deeply personal, right? It was deeply spiritual and deeply personal. Because like the word in Hebrew is not actually, it's a mistranslation to use sacrifice as what actually the process was. The word is korban. Korban, that's what in Hebrew we are using to define what has come in English to be known as the sacrifices. But korban comes from the Hebrew root karov, that means to draw near. So it's not a sacrifice, but it's a means in order to draw near to spirit. That's what the whole ritual was about. It was an invitation to come closer to source, to come closer to spirit. And so, in a society, again, we have to understand that in that society at the time, to give the best of your flock, I was going to say it was an immense sacrifice in the sense that, you're giving the best of your own livelihood, right? Animals were like, I don't want to exaggerate, but they were almost akin to family members, right? You drew everything from animals. You drew your food, you drew your clothing. Animals were your wealth. Animals were everything you own and everything you had. So to come and bring the most beautiful, pristine part of your animal family to be offered up was an incredible act of karov, of drawing near. You did it with great kavanah, with great intention. With great intention. You were invited to remember that even your prized possessions were in fact not yours, right? They belong to the greater presence. You were sent here and you had them, borrowed for a short amount of time to serve you, but they're not yours, right? So there was also a sense of remembering, of deep humility, of becoming really humble in the face of the presence, to acknowledge with gratitude the gifts of our possessions that are not our possessions. Nothing is our possessions. Anything and anytime we think that we possess something or someone, we are reminded that everything is just sandcastles. Everything is just sandcastles. I was sharing earlier one of my favorite teachings. I broke something, a piece of glass in my home that I kind of cherished, and I was reminded the teaching from my teacher Adyashanti, who said, long ago, I remember as a practice to know that everything is always already broken. Everything is always already broken. So those practices, even the practices of Korban, were practices to surrender control, to surrender this notion of possession, to surrender this notion of permanence as well. It was really a profound thing. I mean, with the tools of the time, with the tools of the time. Each offering really was a means to support a surrender of the ego-based attachments. Right? We were to surrender ego-based attachments, everything we so attached to. And the truth of the matter is that's what prayer is for. Like in our tradition, prayers after the destruction of the temple and therefore the sacrifice, the ritual of sacrifice stopped, the rabbis of the 1st and 2nd century, all the way through the 6th and 7th century, codified another way to draw near to the divine through the words of prayer that we read tonight, actually. Those were put together 2,000 years ago. But the point, if you read the prayers, they're not prayers to, they're not praying at. They're really like, every time you read, that's why I was inviting some of you to read in English, because they are not prayers as we understand petition prayers. They are affirmations of deeper truth. That's what they stand for. Affirmations of deeper truth to support us to recognize once again, like I mentioned earlier, the oneness of being that animates all being, which is what the sacrifices were meant to. And so the injunction here to stop worshiping or sacrificing to goat demons. Why is that important? Why is it important? Because sacrificing to goat demons really was pagan worship. But pagan worship was different than Jewish worship in the sense that they were meant to appease the gods, right? It was transactional. It was, I'm going to sacrifice this animal so that the rain, will come to my field in the right time, right? So that I can be prosperous or whatever. It was much more petition oriented. To get what we want. It was really to get some of the things we do, people do that often, is like, God, do this for me, and if you do this for me, I will go to temple every week. I will eat kosher until next Sunday. It's Friday. Yes, I can do that. Right, but we still do that, right? We think of God as the great concierge. The great concierge that we can ask for what we want. And that's what the injunction is calling to stop doing. That's not what deeper spirituality is inviting us into. Right? All the animal sacrifice, the Jewish animal sacrifice, were for yourself. They were means of atonement, of making yourself whole, of healing community and self, of recognizing the presence. They were not meant to twist God's hand or arm in order to get the Mercedes-Benz that you really want for your 53rd birthday. I'm good with my car, thank you. And so I think in a lot of ways to call out this pagan worship was to say, look, pagan worship is actually from a place of fear, from a place of lack, from a place of neediness. And that's not what the practice is about. The practice is about opening your heart to recognize your abundance, to recognize love, not fear. And we do that, we haven't stopped. The injunction is still valid today. We still engage often in religious practices from a place of fear. Fear of hell, for example. I know some people who have converted to all the existing religions just before their death, just in case. You don't know which one is real and true, so you want to have an insurance. So you buy insurance, you convert to all the existing religions, and your odds are better. But you do that from a place of fear. I'm actually not kidding. People do that. I'm serious. Maybe not to all the religions, but you edge your bets. It's like, all right, is there really a hell or not? We also do this from a place of fear because we are concerned with not complying with the rules of the community, right? So this fear of being excommunicated, of not belonging, right? It's not just religious. We can see in identity politics today. Identity politics is the 21st century religion, and the same patterns are at play. We can see it every day. And so, in a lot of ways, there are practices where, just like we exploit the animal to get to what we want in pagan worship, so do we manipulate and exploit scriptures or prayers to manipulate God, So we think, because our ego wants what it wants. And even, okay, I'm going to be really mean. Even in meditation practices, even in those of us who are deeply spiritual. Some of us are deeply spiritual so that we can really lord over others who are not. I am deeply spiritual. Yeah, I meditate because I want to get something. I meditate because I was told that if you meditate, you're going to get all these benefits. And I want those benefits in my life. But then who is meditating? Your ego is meditating. The practice, true meditation is not about adding more to your ego. It's actually removing, it's becoming less. I love that from Ken Wilber. He actually says that I'm not going to do it justice, but he says spiritual practices are not about enhancing the self, as many of us think it is. It's not about enhancing the self, it's about making the self toast. So it's about less, it's about what the sacrifices are about. It's about non-attachment. It's about developing within us this quality of non-attachment, this quality of deep surrender. It's about engaging in life as the practice of meditation invites us into lishma, for its own sake. Living life for its own sake. That's hard for us Westerners who have always been told that we have to achieve something, that we have to find a goal and follow that goal and pursue that goal and achieve that goal. Well, spirituality is like, no, forget about all of that. Can you get to a place where you live life just because, for its own sake? Life is worth living just because. Yehiyu l'ratzon. It's the beginning of the song we're going to sing now. It's a song, but it really comes from a prayer. And it's a beautiful prayer because it's also an affirmation. Yehiyu l'ratzon, it's a prayer, it's an affirmation to our own surrender. Yehiyu l'ratzon means, let me get out of the way. Let me recognize that all that exists, all that is actually, is the manifestation of you, Holy One, who are this being, this conduit. Let me get out of your way. Let me surrender. Let me be a conduit for my heart to speak love, to speak compassion, to speak wisdom. That's the prayer, that's the song. That's, to me, the meaning of this verse in Torah this week. We're on page 11. And as the lights grow dim into the sanctuary, I invite you into a few moments of meditation to see if we can become less, to see if we can work on reducing our attachments. So just take a few mindful breaths to begin with. And by which I mean just observe the body as it is breathing on its own, really. Because until I asked you to do that, the body was breathing and you didn't even pay attention. So don't worry about it, just observe. The body is breathing fine without you doing anything about it. It was just a second ago. So just rest as that awareness that is aware of the body as it is breathing in and out. And you can focus if you want, or pay attention to the belly that rises and falls. Or you can pay attention to the touch of the air, the sensations of the air as it comes through your nose, coming in and going out. Either way. Just if you choose one, just stay with one. Don't go back and forth. And use this first minute here to try and relax and release any tension anywhere on your body. I find that I tend to tense my belly, I tend to tense the muscles of the face. So if you're the same, pay special attention to those parts and really relax. You don't need to hold your face up like you're wearing a mask. And just remain very alert. You don't want to fall asleep either. Well, let's see what we can find. So we've already established that the breath is happening, whether we are conscious of it or unconscious of it. The breath is happening when we are awake, when we are asleep. So the breath isn't something we do, the breath is something the body does. I mean, it's an easy insight into a reality right here. Nobody is breathing. Breathing simply happens, whether we are conscious of it or not. No one is breathing. Good. Now, in this quiet inner experience, maybe you can feel the heart beating. The heart is beating. You are not beating your heart. The heart is beating. You're not beating your heart just as you're not digesting your food. So nobody is beating the heart. Nobody is digesting the food. It just happens. We're not in charge or in control of any of those three parts of our existence. Pretty critical parts, I would say. It's kind of interesting to notice that the beating of the heart, breathing, digesting, is completely out of control. Nobody is doing any of it. It's just happening. Let's keep exploring together the true nature of our reality. Maybe you're noticing right now, paying close attention, the vibrating or pulsating nature of your body. There is an energy that is clearly discernible. For some of us, it's a high energy. For some of us, it's a low energy. But there is energy. And you're not in charge of that either. It just is. You notice it, but you can't control any of it. Nobody is vibrating or pulsating. There simply is vibrating, pulsating energy. What about thinking? Is there somebody thinking? So if I am thinking, then I am in control of my thinking. So if I am in control of my thinking, then I know exactly what I'm going to think 30 seconds from now. Let's take a look. Do I know what I'm going to be thinking 20 seconds from now, 10 seconds from now, 5 seconds from now, 3 seconds from now? I don't. Actually, I only am aware of a thought after it has been thought. Don't take my word for it. Look for yourself. Can you know a thought before it appears in your consciousness? But by the time you see a thought appearing in consciousness, it's already fully formed, it's already there. So, are you in control of your thoughts? And if you are, please do not think of a pink elephant with green polka dots right now. Just do everything you can to not think about that. Pink elephant, polka dots, white wings, pigtail. That's a crazy elephant. Stop it. Stay in charge. Control your thoughts. Clearly you can't. So nobody is thinking. Thoughts just come and go. So now, if there's nobody thinking, nobody breathing, nobody's beating the heart, digesting, who is meditating? Can you find a meditator? Or can you find a self? Point to yourself mentally. Where is yourself? Where are you? Some people point to the chest, but that's another sensation. Some people point to their head, but that's a thought. Where is yourself? Is there a self anywhere? Where is it? See, meditation is really dangerous. Because if we really practice, we uncover things that we might not want to discover. And yet, something is aware. There may not be any thinker, but something is aware of the thought. There may not be anyone breathing, but something is aware of the breath. There may not be anyone beating the heart, but something is aware of the heart beating. What is aware? Something is aware that is neither thought, nor sensation, nor desire, nor emotion. Something exists prior to all of it. Can you feel that? Can you know that? Can you rest as that awareness? That awareness is like the vast sky, and all the thoughts, the emotions, the sensations, the breath, the beating of the heart, they're just clouds appearing in the vastness of the sky, coming and going. This thought, then that thought, appearing and disappearing. But you are what remains. The vastness of the sky of awareness. You are always here. You've always been here. You will always be here. Everything else will come and go. But you will always be here. And we'll close this meditation together with the threefold Shalom chant. But stay as awareness, as the chant arises. Take a breath for Shalom. May this touching of our own true self awaken within us beautiful energies of love and compassion that come from just knowing our source, our being. From that place comes the Ve'ahavta. Now we can love. Now we can send energies of healing to all those you have lovingly inscribed on our community's healing list. Those we invite now into the circle of healing in this space. מי שבירך אבותינו, אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, מי שבירך אמותינו, שרה, רבקה, לאה ורחל, הוא יברך וירפא. את David Mark, Daniel Clark, Maxwell Bernard, Lynn Carroll, Lawrence Stern, Elizabeth Heath, Maggie Pisner, Ronnie Shapiro, Margaret Bergman-Ness, Amy Lowe, Noah Clark, Janet Crawley, Carlis Taylor, Deborah Liebes, Wendy Pender, Amy Austin, Edward Tensman, Rachel Naomi Remen, Anne Mary Regalado, Laura Sack Klein, Julie Wilchins, Mary Allison Castleberry, Nagy Girgis, Dave Milosh, Greg Kinney, Eliza Jeff, Katie Haybarth, Audrey Chase, Steve Doyne, Beth Doyne, Ross Kling, Awilda Verdejo, Kathy Wack, Bob Wack, Jim Halverson, Zoe Sutter, Mark Crockett, Valerie Shunke, Dan Trudeau, Stephanie Prince, Claire Petersky, Alana Coleman, Susan Hoffman, Jackie Curran, Patty Morris, Bill Barnes, Celia Curran, Rachel Rufa, Zander Rufa, Fern Krasny, Montana and her unborn baby boy, Dina Drelek. And we name in our hearts those we include in the circle of healing tonight. ימלא רחמים עליהם, נחזקם ולרפאותם רפואה שלמה, רפואת הנפש, רפואת הגוף. And as the lights come back into the sanctuary, we sing a song of healing, a Mishe Berach, the one by Davy Friedman, on page 34. And as we have reached the concluding moment of our Shabbat together, I invite you to rise as we turn to page 12 for the Aleinu. We say together, we are the ones given this way of praising the Holy One of all being, that we might understand and express the greatness of the one who shapes all creation. We celebrate our uniqueness and that of others, and seek to discover the wonder that we are. Therefore, we bend the knees, we bow, and we proclaim our gratitude before the ruler of all rulers, the Holy One of all being. As it is said, then we shall truly realize the Eternal One as universal being. And on that day, the unity of being shall be celebrated by all. Aleinu leshabeach la'adon hakol, latet gedula leyotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kegoye ha'aratzot, velo samanu כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר And we turn to page 13 for the Mourner's Kaddish. We open a space for memory at the end of our Shabbat together. And in this space, we invite those we remember on this Shabbat into our hearts, into our minds, those who have journeyed with us, those who are continuing on their own journey beyond this level of existence and into the next. And at times such as this, we open our heart to energies of remembrance, energies of acceptance, energies of love. Through the words of the Kaddish, we seek to bless that which has been, that we might be better available to know the preciousness of every single moment that we get to share with one another. On this Shabbat, we hold in light of memory those who have made their transition in recent days, recent weeks, those for whom we hold Shiva or Shloshim. David Hemmelgarn, a friend of Lynn Carroll. Gay Hasselblad, friend of Keith and Cindy Irving. Dennis Raymond, a friend of Keith and Cindy Irving. Dick Johnson, also a friend. Mike Iverson, a cousin of John and Celeste Danker. Ruth Kalish, aunt of Linda Moldauer. Debbie Levine Herman, great aunt of Saul Petersky. On the Shabbat, we also hold in light of memory those who made their transition this past year. James Beal Gorham, David Lee Broad, Amitai Etzioni, Laura Lane McCants, Victoria Ashker, Donna Glosser, Dan Springer, Judy Simon O'Brien, Andrew Simburek, Judith Gorlick, Hannelore Ebert Cronenberg, Simone Ladruma, Robert Lester, Asher Atkins, Marilyn Coleman, Dolores Heller, Jerry Petitz, Menachem Eli. On this Shabbat, we also hold in light of memory those whose yahrzeit, the anniversary of their passing, happened at this time of the year. Sharon Grant, Nancy Green, Shirley Krasny, Louis Ryan, Mickey Libes, Jigdal Dag Chensakia, Sylvia Bernard, Dr. Ludwig Fable. And we name in our hearts those we also include in our Kaddish tonight. And join me. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, be'alma divera cherutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yom echon, u'v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kariv, v'imru amen. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא. ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו. לאלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה, ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום, עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו אמן. At the bottom of the page, may the one who creates harmony above make peace for us, for all the household of Israel, and for all the peoples of the world.
And
Let us say,
Amen.
Amen. Just a few announcements as we await our closing song, which will be on page 25. Join us for the Beit Midrash tomorrow. We continue to study the unending guide of the perplexed. We've been doing this, I looked back, for 2.5 years. And we've made a dent. I think we're getting close to the second half. So that is a way to say you haven't missed anything. It's at 10:30 tomorrow morning. You can join us in person. It's across the street here in the little White House at the corner. Or you can join us on Zoom. We do it either way. You can do that. Speaking of joining us on Zoom, there's still space for the meditation retreat on May 10 through 12. I'm very inspired by the words of the Shema, the way that I have shared them tonight, to invite those who are coming to the retreat to deep dive into uncovering that subtle awareness that is our true identity through the practice that the Shema is calling us to awaken to open to. And I'm going to lead just little, like 15, 20-minute meditations at a time. So even if you're just a beginner or you've never meditated, this would be a perfect time to try and see what happens. And we'll do a lot of debrief and conversation. And I really, my aim is to really try to solidify for you over this weekend a practice for yourself. I know it's over Mother's Day weekend. I know that's the case. But if you have a mother, the gift of a meditation retreat is the best gift you could give any mother. And if you yourself are a mother, then gift yourself the gift of a meditation retreat. We end at 4 o'clock from Whitby on Sunday. There's plenty of time to get home for a happy Mother's Day dinner. So there's really no reason you should not gift yourself the gift of this amazing meditation retreat. If you can attend in person, it's also live streamed. For those of you who register, it's live streamed, so you can do it. You can set a room in your house with pillows. You know what you need to meditate. Click on your computer, and you're right there with us. So join either way. To do that, just go on the Bet Aleph website. Just scroll down from the homepage and find there the way to get to registering for the retreat. And I look forward to having you there next weekend. The Bet Aleph Fun-a-thon is the weekend after that. It's Sunday the 19th. So we're busy. The Fun-a-thon, for those of you who don't know, is our annual fundraiser. It's a phone-a-thon because we call you. We call you and ask you to sell your car for us or your house, depending on whatever you have, to continue supporting this community you love. We call members, but we also call friends of Bet Aleph. So if you don't know who is calling on your cell phone ID, don't ignore the call Sunday the 19th. Answer, and it's like, please answer the call. Answer the call to support our community. We only do this once a year. It's one afternoon, and we only survive because of the generosity of your heart. Everything that happens here happens either through volunteers or through the generosity of those who make up our community. We don't have any big corporate sponsors. We are just travelers of the spiritual path with a begging bowl. And so the begging bowl will be ringing your phone on Sunday the 19th. Please answer. We count on you. Join us for the Oneg downstairs so that we can be in community and share bread and wine together. And I know there's a few of you who are here for the first time. If you're still here and didn't run away yet, I'd love to get to know you and welcome you. The annual meeting is the first Sunday in June, and mark your calendars for that as well. Thank you, Shelley. And we have a special Shabbat.
We have a special Shabbat coming up. Next time around, it's going to be a music Shabbat, probably sing more songs within the Amidah. Jal will be back and visiting us. And so we invite you to please join us here on our next Shabbat, the 17th.
And we also will have a special guest. Kai will be giving the talk that night. So it's going to be a really special evening for all of us. All right, page 25. We'll close with high energy as we entered. Light, love, one. Shabbat Shalom. If we can have a few people to stay behind and help us switch the space back into the Center for Spiritual Living, we appreciate every volunteer we could get. Thank you. We'll see you downstairs.